Hi, everybody. It's Jean. Happy New Year. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. And I'm getting ready to do a couple pages in this little journal that I took apart. And I did a couple pages in it and just kind of playing around. I found this envelope full of interesting things from a junk jar swap last June. And so I kind of had fun with that, looking through it. Everything seemed brand new and a lot of fun. Just fun stuff to play with. This was the title, not the title page, but the page with that listed the editors and so forth. So I just covered up all that with some things out of my envelope and also an airmail sticker that I just pulled off of an envelope the other day. So that was fun, and I put a little bit of gold paint on top of it. You can't really see the shimmer, but it's kind of fun. The page ended up to be quite plain, and so I did a little more to it, and that's coming up, of course. And but I just had a lot of fun with that, what I did at that point. Then on these pages here, I have this nice Irish picture with some Gaelic, a Gaelic phrase, which I can't read, but underneath, of course, it says, 100,000 welcomes to you. So I thought, oh, it needs to be right here up front. And look, here's a green page. What fun that would be. I thought at first it was in the junk jar swap envelope, and I thought, well, that can't be right. It just looks like it came right out of this book. So I decided that it just got mixed up in there. And anyway, I'm going to put it on this green page. And when I was thinking about the front of the book, I flipped over to the very, very front page there, and it seemed a much better fit. I like the darker green, and it was right there at the very beginning, a good place for a welcome to the book, and so I just made a quick snap decision and decided to go ahead and put it right there. I have found that I'm really enjoying using the glue dots, and they seem to be, oh gosh, I've got all this in my way here. Got to move everything out of the way. But anyway, I found the glue dots and decided to just put glue dots in all four corners. The neat thing about the glue dots is they are not messy. I don't get glue on the picture. I don't get glue anywhere. I don't even get glue on my hands. Although, if you touch those glue dots, as I am right there, you can't get them off. They are super sticky, super sticky. So you have to be a little bit careful about that. I got them right on the corners, all four corners, and I thought, that's really going to be enough. That's going to put that page in perfectly fine. It's not going to go anywhere. Ooh, look at that. I almost glued it right down to the top. One thing about the glue dots is really once it's down, it's pretty much down for the count. But it leaves a space where you can use it almost like a belly band and slip things in behind it too. So it gives you that nice versatility. So I was thinking about leaving the page as is, and but of course I didn't like it, and there it is. I played around with it, lost the video to that part, but I did play around with it. It added a few things, made it a little more my own, a little more fun, and I'm much happier with it than I was when it was plainer. Now, it was perfectly fine for the people who edited the book, but I like it a little more grungy. I wanted to work with fabric this time. I wanted to make a fabric pocket. I don't hardly ever work with fabric in my books. And one thing I did mention is that horrible glue that I hate so much actually does glue down fabric really nicely. So I'm going to trim this up a little bit. I love having lines to cut on because I do cut everything crooked. So, I'm getting that all trimmed up and making sure it fits. There's it looks grungy, and that's exactly why I picked it up. I really loved it because of the grunginess, and that is actually in the pattern of the fabric. Crazy. I had to look at it 3 or 4 times. Oh, I wanted to use this, but it didn't go the way I wanted to make the pocket because the pattern's going the wrong way. And it would make a nice side pocket, but I wanted this kind of pocket. So this is the fabric that I decided to go with it. Then I picked up this, and I thought maybe I could use this some way. It's the craziest little piece of fabric, and of course I picked it out of the bin. It's just that little scrap. But it's got some pictures upside down, some pictures right side up, and I thought, well, I could maybe use that little angel in this, or maybe the birdhouse. But I ended up bypassing it for this time, but I'm going to use it later on. So there we go, smoothing that out, making sure it's just right. I didn't get this side clipped straight, so I'm being very persnickety there. And that's not me. But anyway, so I'm gonna make sure that I know what I want to cover there, and I'm just gonna put a lot of glue. I'm just gonna glue the heck out of this page, and this really holds fabric really well. So I should probably stop using it on paper. I should just save it for fabric, but when that's the only glue you have, that's what you use. Although I did find a couple of bottles of Jot. Little sticks of Jot. So so I was glad to have that. So there we go. Now, cutting this down to size. It's got some fabric wrinkles in it, and I think those will go away. A lot of people would get out the old ironing board and iron that nice and smooth before they used it. I know for a fact that eventually those wrinkles are just going to melt away, and you will never see them again. I've got out my pinking shears, which are a nightmare because they're so dull. And I'm trying to pink the edge because the top edge isn't going to be glued down, and I don't want it to fray. And I know enough about sewing, and that's very little, is that I do know that's why you pink the edges so that it doesn't fray. So I've done that. I've gotten the edge all pinked and ready to put down. And of course, since I've got that nice line, those nice lines there, it does show up that I've cut the pinked edge a little crooked, which you'll see later when I get there, because I'm just a little bit ahead of myself. But it's okay. I had a fix for that, so that worked out just fine. So there we go. Now we're getting it down. Now with the pocket, even though we're doing fabric and we're going to use my nice glue, I thought it would probably be a good idea to add my really good double-sided tape also underneath on all 4 sides. Or all 3 sides. So even though I'm gluing it here, In a little bit, you'll see the last of the double-sided tape, because with voiceovers, I know what's coming ahead, and I get a little bit ahead of myself. See, there we go. There's a piece of and that's the last one, because I've edited out the other parts of it. But you're going to be very glad. This has been a difficult video to edit. It's so choppy. It's just, I'm all over the place in this. And I'm back and forth doing this and that. And it's just been a long time with the edit and doing the voiceover. And I'm losing my voice a little bit. And so I'm ready to scrap the whole thing, except for I did like how these pages turned out, and I wanted to share them with you. So that might be something that you might want to do later. But I do love the fabric pocket. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've seen it done several times, and I made it a little bit, either that or it's a little stretchy or something, so the pocket's pretty, got a lot of room in it, so you can put quite a few things in that little pocket. I'm only putting a couple things in today, but I think as I use the journal and play with it, I'll be adding some of my favorite things to that. And this is how you fix the little thing. You've still got the pinking underneath there to keep it from fraying, but it's straightened out, and you don't see that it says it's a little bit crooked. And I don't really care about crooked, but I did kind of like having the lace. I thought, well, it actually looks pretty. And I ended up putting some washi for the bottom, just kind of playing around. And then I had cut off of the Irish piece, just trimmed a little bit, and I used those little trim pieces for a border here, and it really kind of sets it off, makes it a little more finished. So I was happy with that. Happy how things are going right now. A good way to start the new year. I really had a wonderful New Year's Day celebration with my family, my kids, grandsons and granddaughter, and just had such a wonderful time. We did our gift exchange with the one son and family, so we had a really nice get together, which was just so pleasant and delightful. Nice to see everybody once again for a holiday event. So I put the little bird on there for fun, and I set him on a little branch, but as I looked at it later in the close-ups, which you'll see, I think it needs for me to draw a branch in there. So I think I'll do that later, and I'll add a little branch. I did want to finish off the edges there with some ink and grunge it up. Always makes it look so much nicer. So happy with it. Cut the rounded the edges, and made that just a nice little booklet to journal in. And that's probably what I will do, is I'll journal about my day yesterday, because it was really, really fun. So we're heading down the home stretch. I have another page on the other side to work on, and I want to do that. And then later on, I added even more to both pages. That's a little bookmark I made last fall, and I did add some distress ink to that just to bring it more in line with the page. This is the little pocket that I got from Betsy Doodle in her package, D. Webster, and even though the background text is Christmassy, it's not real noticeable, and I really liked the colors. I really liked how it looked here, and I liked having the extra pocket for later pieces. So in it went. Was very, very pleased to find this home for it. I used, again, the little dots, the glue dots. I was real happy with those, adding a few embellishments here and there. The little flowers are just slid on there. They're not down. They can be picked up and moved. They can be glued later on. In fact, I did add a mushroom sticker, but I have a third one of those little flowers, and I might go ahead and take the mushroom sticker off. I'm already making changes and doing while I'm showing you what I've done. Isn't that crazy? And put the third one on there and glue it on where the mushroom is, because I just thought it would look nicer. Anyway, this was how I ended up. I added some faux stitching and grunged up some and a little bit of border there. And that was my page, and that was just so fun, and just a fun way to get started for the new year, and just so happy to be here and happy to have you watching. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.